Ruth Nankabowa, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, made the announcement on Wednesday, August 20th. She told journalists that her ministry is conducting preliminary exploration studies in the Moroto-Kadam Basin East to assess its hydrocarbon potential. According to Nankabowa, early results suggest the potential for commercial oil and gas in the Moroto-Kadam Basin. Similar surveys have started in the Kyoga Basin Centre, with plans to initiate studies in the Hoima Basin, which is in western Uganda. The country's current petroleum resources stand at 6.5 billion barrels. Speaking in Kampala at the mid-year media briefing on the developments in Uganda's oil and gas sector, the Energy Ministry listed the objectives of the exploration efforts: increase Uganda's petroleum reserves, extend production beyond 25 years, and enhance the viability of midstream projects such as the East African Crude Oil Pipeline EACOP. Total Energy's EACOP project includes the drilling of 419 wells in western Uganda and the construction of a 1,443-kilometer heated pipeline linking the Lake Albert deposits to the Tanzanian coast on the Indian Ocean. As Uganda moves closer to the production phase, authorities have banked on the oil and gas sector to drive the country's economic development.
Now, when we hit the oil, we did not have the idea of a pipeline in our thinking. In fact, I used to discuss with the Total people, the ones before Mr. Puyani. There was the man who died in Paris, the short man. There was another one. They would come and tell me, say, pipeline. My question was, pipeline for what? Said they are taking the oil for export. Then my question was, are there no human beings here? Why are you exporting the oil? Why don't we process it here? Why don't we refine it and use it here in Uganda and East Africa so that we supply our needs? But they insisted. They said, no. Because of economics, we must also export. They resisted the idea of the pipeline, of the refinery, but I also resisted. I said, no, the refinery must be there. We cannot go on importing finished products when we are producing oil. So in the end, we agreed on refinery plus pipeline. Now, when we went to the second option of refinery plus crude pipeline, then we started looking at where to go. Initially, some people, there was the route of Mombasa, which was a bit shorter, but it had some issues. It had a lot of built-up area where you had to do a lot of compensation, which the Kenyans were not able to do. And then there was the longer one of Lamu. That one was very expensive because we would end up paying a tariff of $16, I think. It was longer and more expensive. So that's how we ended up with the route of Tanga. Now, when we ended up with the route of Tanga, I was happy. I was happy because I am a follower of Mwalimu Nyerere, and Mwalimu had worked a lot to support Africa. Tanzania sacrificed. Of course, you young people, you don't know this. You don't study this. You are watching football and so on. No seriousness. Just running around, music, singing. You don't know how Africa would have to come up. But we know who did what. Mwalimu, basing himself in Tanzania, which he was leading, sacrificed a lot to support the anti-colonial struggle in Mozambique, in Angola, in Zimbabwe, in Namibia, South Africa itself, fighting Idi Amin here. So therefore, when this project came, I was very happy to see that it goes through Tanzania, so that the Tanzanians also see something, not equal to what they did. It's much smaller, because if you can think of when we fought Idi Amin, we had a force of 54,000 people, 45,000 Tanzanians, and 11,000 Ugandans, 56,000 actually. And Mwalimu was feeding all these, clothing us, giving us weapons, apart from paying the Tanzanians. So I'm very happy to see that this little project can go through Tanzania, and our Tanzanian brothers also benefit something from their brothers